Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
I'm proud, well, in fact, I'm very proud to be the first Pashtun, the first Pakistani, and the youngest person to receive this award. Along with that, I'm pretty certain that I'm also the first recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize who still fights with her younger brothers. I want there to be peace everywhere, but my brothers and I are still working on that. I'm also honored to receive this award together with Kailash Satyarthi, who has been a champion for children's rights for a long time, twice as long, in fact, than I have been alive. I'm proud that we can work together. We can work together and show the world that an Indian and a Pakistani, they can work together and achieve their goals of children's rights.
Okay. Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
Well, graduates, we made it. As a group, we did indeed start from the very bottom. Now it looks like the whole team's here. Think about how far we have come individually and as a class. Looking back to freshman year, it seems like it was just yesterday. There was the first football game, the first class, the first girlfriend, the second girlfriend, the third girlfriend, the figuring out that you were the problem. Yet, our hearts prepared and we grew physically and mentally. Think about the music and fashion trends that we lived through and all the different dance moves that were created. You had the jerk, the Dougie, the whip. Does anyone remember that song, Friday by Rebecca Black? Now we have a song called Tuesday. It's funny how things change. This class of 2015 has undoubtedly been one of the most successful and outstanding classes in La Plata High School's history.
This is why our people are our greatest assets, our valuable human capital, especially those recently laid off during the right-sizing, the downsizing, the outsourcing, and the strategic alignment phase, creating an opportunity for us to fulfill our leadership imperative to do more with less as we execute against our objectives. Now, don't get me wrong, we're going to need to utilize long skis and transparency. Our value-added shareholders expect us to offer them an open kimono. Basically, this will be an iconic strategic initiative that allows us to productionize and incentivize value-added commodities. Let me be clear, clearly we will need to expand bandwidth so we can dive deep and ramp up and adjust to the moving targets associated with our strategic objectives. There are no dumb ideas, there are no dumb questions. It may be a dicey situation, but we need each of you to think laterally and pick each other's brains. If you get a brain fart, run it up the flagpole, circle back, and make sure it's implemented in a cost-effective manner consistent with our mandate to implement against our...
Today I'm going to talk about unexpected discoveries. Now, I work in solar technology industry, and my small startup is looking to force ourselves into the environment by paying attention to crowdsourcing. It's just a quick video of what we do. Hang on a moment. It might take a moment to load. Oh. We can just skip. Well, I'll just skip through the video instead. No.
We meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds. No man can fully grasp how far and how fast we have come. But condense, if you will, the 50,000 years of man's recorded history in a time span of but a half a century. Stated in these terms, we know very little about the first 40 years, except at the end of them, advanced man had learned to use the skins of animals to cover them. Then about 10 years ago, under this standard, man emerged from his caves to construct other kinds of shelter. Only 5 years ago, man learned to write and use a cart with wheels. Christianity began less than 2 years ago. The printing press came this year. And then less than 2 months ago, during this whole 50-year span of human history, the steam engine provided a new source of power. Newton explored the meaning of gravity. Last month, electric lights and telephones and automobiles and airplanes became available. Only last week did we develop penicillin and television and nuclear power. This is a breathtaking pace, and such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old. So it is not surprising that some would have us stay where we are a little longer, to rest, to wait. If this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything, it is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred.